Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So the other week I put out a comment on my community tab asking if anybody had any questions that I would love to answer them, and just to leave them in the comment section. So I got a good number of questions. I wrote them down, so I'm hoping to get through them all. But if you have watched either another Q&A of mine or a chatty vlog of mine, you'll know that I like to ramble and I like to go off on all sorts of tangents. So you're probably gonna just have to bear with me. So I just took off my glasses because the way I'm sitting, the glare of the sun was in my glasses, and yeah, so I'm kind of like half blind now. You know when you take off your glasses and you can't see? Anywho, so yeah, as I said, I'm going to answer the questions that came in. The number one question that I get asked on a weekly to 3 or 4 times per week is where I'm from in Ireland. Now, I don't really share it as such, but if you're on my Instagram and stuff, I do kind of tag my location sometimes. But basically I'm in the east of Ireland. I'm in County Kildare is what I'm going to say, you know. Obviously if you are from the town that I'm in, like I know some people are, you'll obviously know probably where I live down to the dot, you know. But yeah, so I'm in County Kildare. I've lived here forever, and yeah, it's fine. So the next questions come from Siobhan, and also Tracy kind of touched on this one as well, so I'm going to do Siobhan and Tracy's questions together. So they basically said, like, how has Ava handled the whole COVID-19 pandemic and not being able to see friends and family and all that sort of stuff, and then do I have a particular routine for homeschool with Ava? So when this all happened, it was Patrick's Day. The weekend of Patrick's Day, they closed, no, the week before St. Patrick's Day, they announced on the Thursday that they were going to close schools. That next week was St. Patrick's Day, and there was no pubs, no anything, no parades, no anything like that. It was also Ava's birthday that week, and she was going to have a birthday in school and then like a little birthday party here at home with us and our family and friends and stuff. So that initial hurdle of her not being able to have a birthday party in school, because she was really looking forward to it, was a massive hurdle for us to get over, because she kept asking when was she going back to school, when was her birthday party, because we had been talking about it, you know, she had been talking about it, in school they had been talking about it, and because of COVID-19 obviously it couldn't happen. So that was the massive big hurdle that she had. Now we still could see family in that time frame, we just had to stay 1 meter apart at that time. So she did get to see you know, her grandparents and all that sort of stuff for a short amount of time. That was the 22nd of March. So then on the 28th of March is when the country went into lockdown. And Robert was home, but it was still very tough. Ava couldn't understand why we couldn't go and see them, and why we weren't allowed in their house. So what we did, we went and collected the dog, so she'd see glimpses of like Robert's parents and that sort of stuff, but we couldn't go inside the house because obviously you're not supposed to be very close to people, only whoever you live with in your own household. So we started to FaceTime at night time and all that sort of stuff, and you know, she did get fairly upset sometimes about how she couldn't see her grandparents, and then she kind of forgot about school. Like she kind of forgot, and then only recently now she kind of asks about school, about when coronavirus is over, that she can go back to school and all this sort of stuff. So you know, it was very tough for her in those days after school closed. I think it was like the 17th, no, that's St. Patrick's Day, like the 15th, 14th, 15th, 13th, I don't know, around there, when schools closed. we were homeschooling her. So there was a website called Twinkle, and I like downloaded loads of like worksheets for her, and we were like doing stuff like number recognition and alphabet recognition and cutting skills and painting and coloring. But to be honest, like completely honest, I was getting mad at her because she couldn't do it. You know, I was getting frustrated, not mad. I was getting frustrated at the whole thing. Turns out I'm not a very good teacher because I don't have the patience for it. So to ease my sanity and ease her anxiety of having to sit down and Mammy is gonna get annoyed at her, I just stopped that, because you know it's not worth it. She's only turned 4. She doesn't need to do that. If she was in play school all this time, they wouldn't be sitting there getting her to sit down and like write out like letters and like all this stuff. Now it was age appropriate, because that website, that Twinkle website, does have age appropriate things like for her age, for preschool age, but no, we stopped that probably about a week after Easter. So now we just make sure that we do stuff like, I try to make sure that I do coloring with her every day, and we try to make sure we work a lot on her words without her knowing, because lots of you have said how her speeches come on very well, and that's because we've been working without her knowing that we've been working. So like S's and T's and V's and B's and those sorts of stuff she doesn't really get. So if she says stuff like, I'm trying to think of a word now that she doesn't pronounce properly, whatever the word is, we pronounce it the proper way, like snake, you know, we kind of like pronounce that first bit, and that's usually it. Like even her own name, like Ava, because the V, she couldn't really get the V, you know, that's how we pronounce it, you know, like especially if she says her own name and I'm like, oh, Ava, you know, pronouncing the V bit. So other than that, she's been fine, you know. Now that we have we're allowed 5 kilometers from our home, and as of from the week of the 5th of May, we entered phase 1, which I've chatted about that. Robert's back to work. So it has been a bit tougher for her because she was used to Robert. Robert was here for 7 weeks with her, and you know, now she's kind of lost without him, because I still need to do stuff around the house, and when Robert was here, I could do that stuff and he was off playing with her, but now she kind of does be crying because she doesn't want to play on her own, you know. So overall, she's doing absolutely brilliantly. You know, kids are the heroes of this, besides from like, you know, frontline workers and all that sort of stuff, but kids really have been amazing through all of this, like not being able to see their friends, not being able to play outside and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, anyways, babbled about that for a long time. So then there was stuff like, who's my favorite musician? So I am not very good at listening to music, like at all. If it's on in the car, like I would never turn on music. I used to love music, and then just in recent years I've gone off it, but I'm gonna switch that up to who was the best person I saw in concert. And that's really a toss-up between Beyonce. Beyonce was so good in concert, like so good, and also Coldplay. Now I do love Coldplay, and I do love like Mumford & Sons. We saw them as well, they were very good. We saw, who else did we go see? Oh, we've seen lots of people, but Beyonce and Coldplay are always the ones that stick out to me that were absolutely brilliant concerts. So I kind of twisted that a little bit. And then, so these are from Rebecca. And Rebecca's also asked my favorite drink to unwind in the evening. And also down here, somebody asked me, Ali asked me about my favorite cocktail. So something about me is that I don't really drink alcohol. So when we started trying for Ava, I basically stopped drinking. We started trying for Ava in 2013, when myself and Robert were traveling through Asia. And you know, obviously as I was traveling I was drinking or whatever, and then, you know, I thought it was gonna happen like spontaneously, didn't. And it was only really like a year after that when I was kind of like, okay, reading all this stuff about how you shouldn't consume alcohol and all this sort of stuff. So that's what I started to do. So really 2014, I kind of stopped drinking. I would only drink on special occasions like weddings, or if we went out for a meal on my birthday, and sometimes at Christmas too. But that's really it, and literally it's like 1 or 2 drinks, and if I was out I would have like a vodka and coke. My drink before that used to be things called Blue Wicked, or like Smirnoff Ice. Like they used to be my like Alco Pops. They were my drink of choice. And then I moved on to like vodka and Diet Coke. And my cocktail now, the only time I ever really drink is if I get a strawberry daiquiri. And yeah, it's very rare that I get one now, to be honest. But yeah, no, I don't drink. Don't know why. I don't know why I've never went back to it. It's just, well, I do know why. The hangovers are awful, so I think that's probably why. Another question from Rebecca is my favorite holiday destination. Now, if you know me, you would know that I love going on holidays. It's my absolute favorite thing in the whole entire world to do, like the absolute favorite thing. We have been so many places that have been amazing, and I'd love to go back to. If you've been following me for a long time, you'll know that we have been to Orlando, Florida, Disney World 5, maybe even 6 times. So I'm always want to go back there, like all the time. I get cravings to go back to Disney. Like all I do is watch Disney vlogs. Yeah, major Disney holiday person here. But somewhere besides that I would love to revisit is a place in Vietnam, and it is called Hoi An, and it was, yeah, Hoi An. I was trying to think because the capital is called Hoi An? Hanoi. The capital is called Hanoi, and then the place that we went to is called Hoi An. So it's a lovely town. Like honestly, they do this thing on the river where they set off these like lantern things, and there's like a beach. Just we hired like a moped. Robert hired a moped, so the 2 of us got on that and we went to the beach, which was like a 5-minute drive. Absolute love the place there. It's so chilled out, so laid back. Lovely, like really lovely. And yeah, really like that. I think I would definitely go back. There's lots of places on my travels, like Hong Kong, loved Japan. Wasn't a massive fan of China. I loved Singapore, wasn't a massive fan of Malaysia. Where else did we go? Thailand, not too pushed on Thailand to be honest. Chiang Mai was nice, but the rest of it not so much. And we kind of went to a couple of little islands as well, like around Malaysia and the Philippines and stuff. Lots of places were really nice, but traveling with a child, I would definitely revisit Vietnam. Now, not all of the places. I probably wouldn't go back to Ho Chi Minh City, and maybe not even Hanoi, but I would definitely go to some of the places in Vietnam. Absolute lovely country. If you ever get to go there, definitely jump at that. So Ali then asked about my favorite cocktail, which I answered, and then also about my favorite movie. So again, this is something that has changed in the past few years, but my attention span for movies are pretty low. Ever since I had a child, lots of things about me changed, and I don't have the attention span to watch a movie now. I get extremely bored, extremely uncomfortable. It has to be really gripping for me to love it. I also don't like to rewatch movies. Like the only movies I ever really rewatch are like Dirty Dancing or something. But other than that, there's not very much. But recently I did watch for the very first time after we got Disney Plus, Moana. Absolutely love Moana. It's so good. Like the music, the whole thing. I love it. I think it's my favorite Disney movie right now. It used to be Beauty and the Beast, but I think Moana is there for me now. But like other than that, like as I said, it would be like Dirty Dancing or something, because I can't watch real life movies, you know, with real people, real actors. But let me know your favorite movie actually down in the comments. If everybody just puts a comment and let me know what your favorite movie is, because, you know, maybe one day I'll actually might sit down and have the attention span. Now I can sit down and watch a TV series, like just going off on a tangent. Like recently we just finished watching Gangs of London, which if you haven't watched that on Sky, you could probably stream it somewhere. Gangs of London, anyways, look for it. It is, now I'm not into crime or any of that sort of stuff, but this was really, really, really good. Definitely enjoyed it in a weird way where I was like sitting like this at the gruesome bits. But it's a series that was on Sky Atlantic, I think, maybe, possibly, I can't remember. But yeah, we had it on the Sky box, and yeah, definitely watch that. But I can sit there. I also love to watch like Schitt's Creek on Netflix. I kind of binge watched that, and Jane the Virgin. So I'm kind of into those like light-hearted stuff, besides from the Gangs of London, that obviously was not light-hearted. But yeah, just off on a tangent. So the next one was from Anya, and also I think Abigail is her name. She asked how myself and Robert met, and I think I mentioned this before. So basically I was 17, and a person that I went to school with, we were friends outside of school. We had like a group of like 4 or 5 of us who hung around, and he went off and he was training to become a mechanic, and he said that he had met this guy there that lived in the same town as us, and you know, he knew of him or knew him or whatever, and he was saying you should meet him, I think you'd like him. Now I was 17, and I was very different when I was 17. Like I was really, really shy, you know. I would never ever speak out about anything. I definitely wouldn't have done this when I was 17. So when I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, I don't care. Then on my 18th birthday, he was like, oh, I might invite him to come because I was having a party. And I was like, well, I don't want him there. I don't know who he is, so don't invite him. And it was the next weekend, or it was that guy's birthday, which is actually next week, the 3rd of June, and we went out for him. That guy was turning 19, and we went out for him, and Robert was there. Robert appeared, and he was so loud, so in your face, and I was like, no. We're probably like secretly thinking like, you know. And like, I didn't know him. Like I don't know if my friend had said like, you know, you should meet this girl, I think she'd be great for you or whatever, you know. Bear in mind we were only like 18, 19. And yeah, he was super loud, and we were taking pictures and whatever, and he like hopped in one, and like I think I have a picture of it, and I'll have to show you one day. I'll do another kind of video and I'll show you the embarrassing photos of us 15 years ago. And he hopped in a photo with us, and yeah, like he was just really, really loud, and we went to the nightclub, and he just went off and did whatever, you know. And then the next night, it was a bank holiday weekend, so on the Sunday night we went out again, and I actually saw him kissing another girl. Again, didn't care, because I was like, this is just a random fella, I don't really care. And so off I was like, you know, dancing myself, drinking or whatever. And the following weekend, my friend from school had a girlfriend, and it was her 21st birthday. So it was the guy who turned 19, his girlfriend was turning 21 the next weekend. And it turned out that she knew all of Robert's family, and had invited Robert's family to come to her 21st birthday party. So we're sitting there, and Robert appears beside me, and we're talking or whatever, and then so his parents were sitting like across from us. It was the strangest thing. And then he would like basically ask me to kiss him when his parents were like sitting right here, and I was like, sorry, who are you? Like, no, like first of all, your mommy and daddy are there, like no way. And yeah, so at the end of the night we ended up kissing. We went to the nightclub or wherever, we ended up kissing, and then he got my mobile phone number from my friend, the one that turned 19, and then we started texting, and then I said to him that I have photos from the night. Look at me making the move. I said I have photos from that night, did he want to meet up, and we'll have we'll look through them. Now again, I was 18, okay, so we don't do dating and stuff. We definitely didn't back when I was 18, 15 years ago, didn't go on dates or anything. I said, do you want to, you know, meet up? He had a car. And which is a big deal when you're 18, and he's like, yeah. So we met up and we were just talking and chatting and stuff, and then eventually we just didn't not meet up every single night. And you know, eventually somebody asked us if we were like boyfriend and girlfriend, and we just kind of looked at each other and kind of went, yeah, I suppose so, yeah. And that was it. Yeah, so unfortunately we don't talk to the people who actually set us up, essentially. We fell out over God knows what many years ago. But myself and Robert, we kind of say that our anniversary date is around like the 10th or the 11th of June, like the first night that we had a little kiss in the nightclub, and that's what we say our anniversary is. So yeah, coming up in 2 weeks or so we'll be 15 years together. We got together in 2005. 15 years, engaged, a child, still not married. Anywho. So then, yeah, we have one here from Mum of Two, Zoe. She asked, would we want to live in a house in the future, or would we prefer to stay in the apartment? So we would absolutely love to live in a house. You know, that's the dream, to own your own home. Obviously, because we only have a single income because I don't work, you know, that dream is very far in the distance. Can barely see it. It's down there, but I can barely see it. It gets closer sometimes and then it goes back. So yeah, realistically in the future we would like to live in a house, whether that's we own it or we're renting it off somebody, you know, but realistically we do want to move out of the apartment. I love the apartment, I love having an apartment, because we did before rent a house, but our cars got stolen and the house next door to us got robbed. And then when we lived in Robert's parents' house, Robert's 2 cars got stolen. Robert has 3 cars gotten stolen because they were like boy racers is what we would have called it back then, so they were like souped up yokes. So somebody stole them. So yeah, I kind of have a fear of living in a house. I like the fact that my apartment is like a maze to get into. It has a locked door that you can't get in without a fob, and then to find my actual apartment, you know, you have to kind of go through doors and all this sort of stuff, you know. So I do like that about living in the apartment, but I would love to have an outside space, especially with Ava, because right now during this COVID stuff, I would just shove her outside in the garden and I'd be like, play out there, child, you have so many toys, go out and play outside. Or because it's so nice, it's like low to mid 20s, which is like tropical here in Ireland, by the way. You know, I'd be like in a swim pool out there with her and whatever, you know. So yeah, that is the dream. I would like to one day own our own home, but either way I would like to move into a house with a garden. But yeah, so that is it. There was some questions about like taxes and income tax and VAT and all that sort of stuff, but I'm going to actually just reply to the comment of that, because it's just easier, and I don't think lots of people will be interested in that, but this girl is, which is completely fine. But in general, we're not going to talk about taxes. So that is it. That is my video. As I said, I would love to know in the comments what is your favorite movie, and I would thank you so much for watching. I'll be back in a couple of days with another video, and please do subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell button, because the bell button will notify you every time I upload a video. And who knows what day that will be, because I don't have defined days now. So that's it, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.